This lesson is on dividing fractions. To divide fractions, we have to remember three things. We have to skip, flip, and multiply. It says something here that I disagree with. A common denominator is not needed. It's a little misleading. A common denominator is needed. However, when you skip, flip, and multiply, you create a common denominator. What they really mean is you don't have to use the least common multiple to find a common denominator. You will find one when you do the algorithm. So let's remember how to do this. We need to divide fractions, you need to skip, flip, and multiply. Let's see if we can figure out what that means. To skip means to skip over the first fraction in the problem. You skip over 2/3 to the 4/5. So we're skipping the first one. And then you flip. To flip means to flip the second fraction in the problem. 4/5 is flipped to 5/4. And then you multiply. 2/3 divided by 4/5 becomes 2/3 times 5/4. 2 times 5 equals 10. 3 times 4 equals 12. So you're multiplying the numerator by the numerator and multiplying the denominator by the denominator. So 2/3 times 5/4 equals 10/12. And then you have to simplify. You know that both of the numerator and the denominator are even numbers. 10 and 12 are even numbers, so this fraction can be simplified. Now we could put it on the ladder, but the common denominator, the least common multiple, the lowest common is going to be 6. So we find the greatest common factor, which is 2. 10, so we make a magic 1 of 2 over 2. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. And 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Since both 10 and 12 are divisible by 2, we reduce the fraction by dividing 10 and 12 by 2. So our resulting fraction is 5/6. So let's see if that works. 2/4 divided by 4/8. Let's remember we need to skip the first one. We flip the second one, so we skip it, we leave it the same, 2/4. 4/8, we flip it over, it becomes 8/4, and we multiply. 2 times 8 equals 16. 4 times 4 equals 16. And 16 divided by 16 equals 1. So our correct answer here is 1. Skip, flip, multiply. 2 times 8, 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Then we simplify. 16 divided by 16 equals 1. Whenever you see the numerator and the denominator as the same number, you know that it is a 1. So let's try another one. We will skip the first problem, 1/4. We'll flip the second one. 4/6 becomes 6/4. And we multiply. 1 times 6 equals 6. 4 times 4 equals 16. And we'll simplify this on the ladder. 6 and 16. The lowest prime that goes into both is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 3 is prime. It does not go into 8 evenly. So 3/8 is our simplified fraction, and our answer is 3/8. Let's talk about what it means to skip, flip, and multiply. What we're actually doing is something called the multiplicative inverse. Multiply by the inverse. To invert something means to turn it upside down. So we're going to multiply by something we've turned upside down. We're going to skip, flip, turn it upside down, and multiply. And it makes sense because the opposite of division is multiplication. We can't just turn this into multiplication. We have to change something. That's why we invert this. So we say flip because skip and flip rhyme, but really we're skipping this one, leaving it alone. We're inverting this one, and then we're doing the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So let's try it out one more time. 1/6. We're going to invert 2/3 to become 3/2. We're going to perform the multiplicative inverse. We're going to multiply by the inverse of 2/3. 1 times 3 equals 3. 6 times 2 equals 12. Now let's put that on the ladder to see if we can simplify it. We have 3 and 12. The lowest prime that goes into both 3 and 12 is 3. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. The only number that goes into both 1 and 4 is 1. So we have 1/4 as our answer. 1/4. 1/6 divided by 2/3 equals 1/4 when we use the multiplicative inverse, or all you have to remember is skip, flip, and multiply. And then don't forget to simplify.